People like to talk in private. The Japanese guy on the fourth floor, Mr. Kobayashi. Jianju. That's a Japanese word for someone who doesn't socialize. This gentleman who never leaves home. White chalk on the gate, scribbled the word. I don't like to peep into other people's privacy. Just live next door to him, passing by the small forest gate every day. And I lived in that building for 5 years. I have never seen this mysterious person. In fact, none of the residents have seen him at all. We just got it from the landlord. Heard of his existence there. The landlord said I haven't seen him since he moved in. The little monk asked him when he moved in 2012. The landlord replied that he was not in good health. I respect his privacy. He will send me pictures of the apartment, so I never went in to check. After all, he is not feeling well. I don't want to disturb him either. Suddenly I thought of a terrible thing. How can you be sure he's not dead? Komori found my question interesting. The landlord rolled his eyes, smiling and saying, "But you and I have kept in touch with the tenant, Mr. Kobayashi, and I will call. The most important thing is that he will pay the rent on time. Will give me a clean brown envelope at the end of the month. But I'm not going to tell you where he put the envelope. The rent, yeah, that's all that matters." Komori smiled mischievously. The landlord frowned. "How about food?" I asked him if he always wants to eat. As far as I know, he has been using the fire escape to collect takeout. The landlord said the delivery man had never seen him either. They just put it on the floor. I think that's okay. Did he inherit a large inheritance? I really don't know. How does he earn money to support himself without going out? Make money online. Komori smiled and guessed. The landlord sighed. I think there's enough gossip for today. Go back now. But you haven't paid Frey's rent yet. Help me talk to him, I promised the landlord. Then we went to my girlfriend Frey, passing by Mr. Kobayashi's room. We didn't dare to look at it, although I just made some jokes. But we were still a little scared. That little scrawl over there, Jainru, it's not normal. And I always took that as a warning. I can hear the wall at night. There will be haunting sounds from Kobayashi's apartment. Heavy breathing, giggle. Once there was a terrifying wail. I was so scared that I couldn't move. What were you thinking, Danny? Komori smiled and said, wait for me at your girlfriend's. Or is this your home now? I rolled my eyes. Not yet. And he laughed. I still don't get it. Why do you just still live apart? Let's move in together. I have to go see the kids. See you later. I often feel incredible. Komori, in my opinion, I haven't grown up yet. I already have a wife and children, Shaoli and Pippi. That night, Fred and Komori is eating around the table. Baby Pippi sits on a big chair, screaming with excitement. But did you tell you? The latest information from Mr. Kobayashi, Komori said while holding Pippi to his lap. Frey rolled his eyes and muttered, you two went back to the landlord again. We got some news. I smiled and said, Mr. Kobayashi does communicate with the world. It's good that he's not dead. Zeely said that the mystery is now solved, so you to leave it alone. Red Pippi excitedly pointed to the window to teach. I looked at the fire escape, found a female courier and a red coat. Oh look, I smiled and said, that must be one of Kobayashi's visitors. Frey said you said that, I remember. I've seen this woman before. Do you dare to bet with me? I dare to go to the Kobayashi window to see, Komori said, handing the baby to his wife. He stood up drunk. No one wants to bet with you. Zeely said he drank enough today. Let's go back and put Pippi to bed. Komori reluctantly agreed. The two of them packed up and walked towards the door. When Frey and Shaoli were chatting, Komori leaned towards me. I frowned and made a look of disapproval. Take a picture from the fire escape and take a picture of the small odd job apartment. Photos of the apartment. Do you dare? I'll bet you $500. I rolled my eyes. Go home. There are too few drunks. Alright. 600,000. An equal 600 blocks. Z-San smiled and opened the payment software with her mobile phone. Whisper to me, I see. The money is here. I'm not kidding. Send me the photo and I'll wait a minute. If you can take a video, I'll transfer it to you. I'll transfer you 700 yuan. I'm a little tipsy, but nowhere near as drunk as Komori. I'm definitely conscious enough. Reject his stupid bet, but I still agreed. 600 yuan for a photo. In my opinion at that time, a fool would refuse. But as far as I know now, no matter how much, it's not even worth getting me up that fire escape. Frey and I made an excuse to go out. Then I walked through the dark apartment, go straight to the window leading to the firehouse. I just had to climb outside and walk 20 centimeters, then take a picture. I left the window ajar, gently jump up the metal walkway that connects to the apartment building. After a few gentle steps, I'm squatting outside room 11, looking at Mr. Kobayashi's window. I hold my phone in trembling hands, finger hanging over shutter button. I thought to myself, I hope Komori doesn't regret it after he wakes up. I turn on the flash, because I think it's too dark in here. If you don't turn on the flash, can't see what's going on in the apartment. But when I look through the windowsill, peeping into this man's dark house, the phone's light shines through the dirty glass. I saw a terrifying scene. I don't know. What is the photo Mr. Kobayashi sent to the landlord? Yes, but I think those pictures match what I saw that night. Must be different. In an apartment in Hunan, bloody corpses hang on the wall. A wall of terrible fresh meat trophies. But the scariest part was in the middle of the room. Mr. Kobayashi is squatting on the ground enjoying a corpse. Next to him, it's a chair with a red coat on it. It's the female courier. I cover my mouth tightly, trying to contain the screaming. This elderly Japanese man, it doesn't look weak to me. He is slim. They rip their victims apart with ease. Little Linton paused. He noticed the light on my phone. When he wants to look out the window, I was petrified by his face. Kobayashi's lips were covered in blood, chin sagging, and then he made this horrible noise. I stumbled back. The phone fell between the metal of the fire escape. I watched him fall into the deserted alley below. I'm so scared I can't stand up. I climb up to my window, and this Jianju guy reaches out his window, and I screamed. Climbed into his apartment, closed the window quickly, back through my empty, dark apartment. This guy's looking at me, except for a thin layer of glass between us. Nothing. He watched me from the fire escape, watching me with those terrible eyes, and started slamming into my window. And I looked at him in horror. The glass starts to crack. I'm just scared. I dare not let my eyes go away from this man who can increase his face. Just use your hands like crazy, fumbling for the door handle behind, until the door opened. I immediately ran to find Frey. I banged on his door. He opened the door and let me in. See the pale expression on my face. He knew it wasn't a joke. He called the police immediately, but the police said, "It's not them." This is the first time I've received such a call. There have been cases of missing women before. Connect with this old man, but no evidence was found. And that night, when the police broke into room 11, Mr. Kobayashi has escaped. But in fact, Mr. Kobayashi has been gone for a long time, because of what lives in that dark apartment is no longer human.